The Legion Go in Canada only ships with 512 gigabytes of storage, which is very unfortunate. You're not even able to get the 1 terabyte. So I've decided to upgrade it. There's a couple ways that I'm going about this. You know, I have a 2242 SSD that I'm going to put in. That'll just fit. I'll do that later. I'm also going to try some other stuff. You know, I have a 2230. You can see that. Basically, you just hook this up to an adapter, and then you can make it 2242 length. But what I'm going to do is I bought myself a 2280 adapter here. So this is a 2280 drive. It's way too long to fit in this, you know, the Legion Go. It's significantly too long. But with this adapter, it's a ribbon cable style adapter. In theory, what I'll be able to do is, you know, hook it up and then hook it up to any 2280 and just put this off to the side somewhere away. And in theory, you can then use a 2280. Advantages of that are you can get up to 4 terabytes. I think you can get more, maybe 8 terabytes, but cost effectively, you can get the 4 terabyte sizes of 2280s for cheaper than really any of these other ones. But for testing purposes here, because I'm not sure this is going to work properly, I have just this little wee SN 740. This is a Gen 4 drive, very nice and fast, but it's a tiny little guy. It's just 256. I'm not sure how fast this can go. This thing may not support, you know, Gen 4 speeds anyways. So what would be the point of then buying a Gen 4 4 terabyte drive? Let's test it out either way. So this is how the thing looks here. So then what you do here is you basically, this is going to go somewhere in the storage there, and then this will basically stick inside my Legion Go, and these you can just snap off to the appropriate size. So I'll do that after, but that's basically the theory behind it. Let's open this up and get it installed, and then I'll have to go through the whole recovery process. Okay, so we're going to take out the battery to start here. Disconnect that. Luckily, it's just a typical Lenovo style connector. It's out. Just slide it out. You're going to want to use your fingers on that. Don't pull on the wires. So that would be a bad idea. Let's go like that. Now I can pull it like that. Okay, so basically what you do here now is you stick in this is the adapter piece, right? So I'm going to stick that in there. I need to break this off at a 2242 size. So, you know, you pop that in there and then you snap it off where it needs to be. You can see that there. So you snap it here, which, there we go. Snap the little PCB. Okay, put that in. Plop that down. Get your screw. You create this installation media from Lenovo, and then you plug it in and you boot from it, and it'll just reinstall Windows. Basically, it'll install the original operating system. This drive here actually already has. This drive right here actually already has Windows on it, which I'm doing intentionally because I just want to actually test this. It has two. There we go. So boot menu. My fingers are not gonna have a hard time hitting that. There we go. USB. So you just hold volume up and power. It will boot into that boot menu there. That's all you do. You just hold volume up and power at the same time. Your Legion will boot up and it will give you that menu there. Okay, here we are back. It's a portrait screen, so I have to turn it slightly. I'll just move this over here so you don't have to be the same angle as me. There's no need for both of us to suffer. Okay, so I am not in Australia, at least not right now. Accept. What was that saying? If you click yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll wipe the SSD. It's just this SSD I just pulled from my ThinkPad that I'm reviewing. And now we wait. So I'm just going to let this do its thing. It's going to take time because it's reinstalling Windows from just USB 2, unfortunately. Okay, and here we are all set up. Everything's reinstalled. You can see that that's the 256 drive. It's an SN740, so it'll go up to about 5,000 in here in theory, if that's what it can do. We'll see if the adapter allows those speeds. Yeah, so we can see here that the adapter is giving us Gen 3 drive speeds, so high speed Gen 3. So if you're getting this adapter here and you're going to use it regularly with a 2280, I mean, you can get a Gen 4 drive depending on pricing, but if you just want to go for optimal pricing, really a Gen 3 will do fine because that's, you know, high-end Gen 3 drive. You get like a Team Group MP34, or if you get, you know, any high-end Gen 3 drive is going to bring speeds like that there. Obviously, we're not getting Gen 4 speeds. I had a little bit of a suspicion that it wasn't going to run at, you know, full blazing Gen 4 speeds. So, you know, that's how that you can make your decision there. I mean, are you going to get yourself, you know, a fast Gen 4 drive? You know, maybe the price is fine and you just put it in there because whatever. But, you know, Gen 3 drives can be had a lot cheaper. Like I said, there's the MP34 from Team Group, 4 terabyte, and it goes on for like 200 Canadian dollars routinely, which is about 150 American. So for 4 terabytes, that's kind of a no-brainer. So it does work. It works well. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. It's not disconnecting, nothing like that. Okay, so it works. Clearly this is getting a good connection. I was able to install Windows. I was able to do all my updates. I had no issues with it disconnecting. I did move it around. You know, it's a firm enough connector there. I mean, you're not going to be swinging it or anything, but it works totally fine. Okay, so now in theory, what we need to do is put this somewhere. But you can see here that the cable is bent. You can bend these style cables. You don't want to go too hard on them, right? But, you know, you're going to want to do something probably like this here. You know, that's going to be a little suspect. It's going to get a lot of pressure from things there. You could, I guess, take off this plastic. This is just bracketing here, right? So you could take this plastic thing off, and then the problem is your wires are just going to be basically loose inside here, which it's not going to break anything. Let's see here how well it works if I just kind of set it on top of where the battery is. I feel like it's going to be too tight. Yeah, see, that's too thick. It's not going to work. Right, it doesn't actually fit here. You know, it doesn't fit in the device. When you put it in there, you can't get the back on. So, I mean, unless you're going to play with your Legion Go back off, or you're going to just have this thing dangling out here, which, I mean, that's a horrible idea. You could, I guess, but it's a terrible idea. You're going to want to, you know, find a place in here. And there's really not a lot. You're going to have to take out this support structure here. It's really the only option. Yeah, I mean, this isn't needed. We can see here that really the support structure here is really just support structure. So it is going to support, you know, the back of the case from pressing on devices here. But really, a lot of what it is it's a cable channel. So you have channel 1 there, channel 2 there, and these come out here. This one goes up into whatever this is here. I guess your power in that module there. This one down here runs into whatever that is there, that motherboard pin there, or data board pin there. And then these two over here are going to be your antennas. Really, there's not a lot you got to take out. You got to take this one out here. So I'll take this out here. Yeah. Right, now that comes out there. Yeah, it's also connected. I think it kind of goes through both. There's something over here. One right there. Then you just have to basically take these wires. I wonder if it can fit under. You know what I mean? Like just fit under there. Yeah, I can see it bending, so it's not even going to close. So really, you know, if you want to go this route, it'll work fine. You just got to take out this kind of these leads here. So you don't need pliers to do this, by the way. I'm just making my life easier, right? So that goes like that. That looks like it goes this white antenna wire, so that's the antenna. There's some type of wire. No, that's the gray black. I'm not sure what this white one is. It's going to the motherboard, and then it does connect under here, right? So you can see that there. So you would have to, well, really, I mean, you can just snap the thing, snap it right there, and it will actually work just fine. All right, there's another little header there, which you can just take out, right? Feed that back through this piece here. So you just take that out as well. Right, take that out there. This is going to have to be reconnected to that spot there. We'll do that after. Really not sure what this is here. I'm probably going to have to keep this piece here, right? Yeah. That's something important, so I'm going to put that back in. I just broke that, so, you know, if this is like, I'm all in now, so. Okay, so that's out, and that's out. And there we go. So that bracket is out now. Oh my God, my back actually hurts from that. So this has to go back, right? This guy here. Okay, I just literally just put it on. I just needed to get a better angle because the light is a little weird. Nope, I accidentally disconnected that. Well, all that work to just do this without taking off this plastic. Okay, that's back on. Probably just take that off in the first place rather than trying to feed all the wires through. I should have just done that in the first place. Made my life easier. Okay, so there we go. That's all good to go. This one's plugged in. This little white thing here, which I unplugged. I have no idea what this is. It looks like an antenna of some kind, but Looking pretty good. And then this is going to go in. Taking this thing out. If you can get this out without breaking it and putting it back, sure, okay, you can do it. But breaking it, you probably void your warranty, to be honest. So your mileage may vary. There's actually a little bit of pressure here, you can see, right? A little bit of pressure there. So you're going to want to probably shift it down because there's a little bit of pressure right there. I guess we'll go right about here because it has these two hinges here, right? For the door, for the gate. So you just have to make sure that it clears those. Look at that. It's installed. Everything closes nice and flush. You can see there, right? No pressure in the middle there. You do have to, basically you actually want to put the SSD inside where this serial thing is because the hinges here have kind of a loop inside there. So you're going to put it inside there. Otherwise it, it presses up there and I couldn't get this closed. So I just shifted it slightly and it works fine. So now you need to decide what type of SSD you're going to put inside your Legion Go. MP34, you can see there. It's a little bit, it's a really, really good 4 terabyte drive. You can get, like the P3, Crucial P3, the Crucial P3 Plus, those type drives. The problem is they don't have DRAM cache, and I don't think they're TLC, no DRAM cache. This here is DRAM cache and TLC, both. So, when you put this inside your Legion Go, you're going to get good speeds. You're going to get 3,500 megabytes a second, 3,500 megabytes a second anyways. So it'll be able to max out this drive here. I was debating taking a Lexar 790, I think Pro. It is a Gen 4, very, very high-end Gen 4 drive, 4 terabytes, putting it in here. But the thing is, it's going to be nerfed to this speed anyway. So why would I take that and, pay all that extra money for that drive and then get Gen 3 speeds anyways when I can get this that's a very, very, very good Gen 3 drive anyways. Okay, so I'm going to put some double-sided tape on this just so it doesn't move around. Take this off. There is a separation between the PCB and the battery there. If we're getting some heat, I'm going to monitor it. If we're getting some heat, you may want to put, something like a little bit more, resistant to heat between them. But I don't suspect there's going to be much of an issue here. Put that in there like that. Right about there. No, it's just enough space there. So I would bring it back just a tiny little bit. If we can focus, see that 2 there? I'd probably move it just a tiny little bit more closer to that, whatever that is, an 8. You may have different numbers here, but that's the phone number for Canada. You may want to move that just slightly to those digits there. But it should be fine where it is right now. Just kind of like that there. Yep, and there's no pressure. So I was worried about, I was very, very close. Shift it just the tiniest little bit, like I said, that way, because I'm like borderline touching on that right there, which is fine, but you don't want to be. So yeah, you can see that closes just fine. No pressure. There's no bump or anything like that. And we're good to go. So I'm just going to reinstall the operating system again, now that I know it works, and I'll come back. Hey, and there we go. 4 terabytes of storage on my Legion Go. No shenanigans. That's a 4 terabyte TLC with DRAM. You can see here that I am just doing some benchmarks. That's the speed that it gets. That's the speed of the SSD and the speed of the interface. So it's a Gen 3. Basically, it's going to max out that. And I'm doing this because I want to check out some thermals here, see if the SSD is getting hot at all. Battery, it's not going to get hot from that. NVMe here, 52 degrees, not bad. And we're running benchmarks on it, not bad, right? And that's because there's no direct contact. There's actually a gap. So the PCB of the adapter is actually sitting on the battery, which is fine. But then there's an air gap between the SSD that's sitting in there and the PCB itself. So there's actually no direct contact between the PCB, battery, and the actual SSD. There's not even like a layer between it. They're just physically not touching. Okay, so I guess that's that. You can see here, I'm moving files over here just off of the SSDs, just off the SD card. But I mean, file transfers were sitting at about 41 degrees. We saw that even under benchmarks, when I was running Crystal Benchmark, it was sitting at about 51 as a peak. And that's obviously slamming the SSD. So I mean, Yeah, it looks like this is actually going to work out. The temperatures, you know, there's no direct contact between the battery and the PCB and the SSD. There's actually like a gap between that, an air gap. So it looks like we're going to be able to maintain this. I was worried about it, you know, just being around that area rather than kind of over to the side here, but it looks like it doesn't really care. Again, this isn't a super hot SSD as it is. Okay, I've just been letting this load and run for a little while now. You know, Baldur's Gate, mainly just to get some loading in there. And let's check the temperatures of the SSD because, you know, this is real world, it's a gaming device. So yeah, look at the temperatures here, 41 degrees. 49 was peak probably when doing, you know, heavy loading there. And it updated, you know, I installed the game, I updated it, I did all the cloud downloads and that. It looks like we're getting, yeah, 49 as an absolute peak on that SSD and 40 or so right now, 42, you know, in game or whatever. So yeah, you're not going to get any issues with temperatures on that. Again, the team group is a good option. If you get yourself a hotter SSD, it may run hotter. So just be aware of that. You know, you don't want to necessarily just get the most beastly drive. It's going to be limited by Gen 3 speeds anyways. 2280 in rather than this 2242 or the 2232, which is designed to go in small form factors. You're going with a bigger one like this. Just make sure it's one that doesn't run super hot or, you know, drain tons of battery.